So today I have some pink roses. I bought myself some roses. If you know me, you know I always buy roses for myself. Like, that's just like, I guess, my thing. So yeah, but I think as a woman, always keeping some fresh flowers in your house is so great. I like to keep them in, well, we keep some on the dining room table, and then I also like to keep my own personal bouquet in my room. It's just so feminine and sweet and nice. So I'm gonna show y'all how I prepare my roses. It's nothing spectacular, but yeah. So ladies, in 2024, please don't wait for nobody else to buy you roses. Buy your own roses. I've been doing this for years though. I've been doing this for a while. If you ever see me post flowers, I bought them for myself because they're just so pretty. And I love roses. I love roses. They're my favorite flowers. I'm trying to debate on if I want to take the leaves off. I don't think I want to. I want to keep them on because it adds some like greenery in there. So yeah, we're gonna keep those on. I'm going to cut at an angle, a 45-degree angle, about like that much off. Hope y'all saw that. But yeah, this is how it will look. So that's how I cut my stems. I've never really talked about my dating ideas. I feel like I have a very unconventional or non-typical approach to dating. Dating scene is just trash all across the board. 0 out of 10, don't recommend. Therefore, I kind of keep to myself for the most part. Am I actively dating? Am I looking for suitors right now? No. I do, however, have people that I do enjoy spending my time with, but I'm not actively seeking anybody out. Like, if people ask me if I have a boyfriend, I say I'm not looking, but I'm technically single, but I'm not looking. If you catch my drift. But yeah, so yeah, that's my current relationship status. Who knows, maybe it'll change soon. No, I'm just joking, but not joking. But yeah, so just so you guys can see, I cut all of them at an angle. Like right here, I like a very classic looking vase. It does look a little dusty. That's just the steam from the water. But I lost the food. What did I do with the food? Did I just throw it away? Wrap it up and throw it away on accident. We are currently in a sassy man apocalypse, and I hate that for the girls that are looking. We're in an age where people like to form attachments and not really provide commitments to one another, and that saddens me. I really hate that for us. I just believe that commitment's not too much. Like, I just don't think it's that big of a deal. Not that it's that big of a deal, but there's far more harder things that we go through in life, and I just feel like commitment shouldn't be something that we make an issue out of, like at least this deep of an issue. I don't think people realize how helpful it is to have like someone in your life that is genuinely like pushing for your greater good. We have created a culture that is so like based on individualism, which of course, like, you should be, when I say in relationships, like, you should be an individual first, always. But I feel like people think that being in a relationship means that you lose your sense of freedom. And do we like it with the green? I like it, but I don't know if I like it. Like, I feel like it's like some are just too much. But for me at least, I don't want to control anyone, and I don't want anyone to feel controlled by me, like, at all. I'm not here to do that. I'm not here to be your mom. I'm not here to be any of those things. And I feel like we're in a culture that people don't really know what they want in relationships, and it's hard to date because people haven't taken the time to know themselves in order to know what they want and don't want in a relationship. And for me, I had to sit down and I'm like, this is what I want in an ideal partner. And anything that's not that, I can't see myself going for. Now, we also live in an age where we are told that people, like, there's so many fish in the sea, and while that is true, it's very unrealistic. And we have created this environment where people don't even okay, what I'm about to say does not apply to abusive relationships or anything like that. Like relationships where it's two different people that are unwilling to consider one another or unwilling to change minor behavioral patterns in order to create a stable union. Like, so we live in this generation of people that think that everyone is disposable. Like, relationships are not easy as it is, but maintaining healthy relationships is even harder, especially when you're used to super duper toxic situations. Like, for me personally, I have been in a few toxic relationships. When I decided that, okay, I'm not doing the toxic stuff, like, I'm not doing it for myself and for the other person, like, it's just hurt people. So I had to take the time to be to myself to decide that, like, I don't want to be a person that is hurt, that hurts other people. Like, that's just, so why would I want to do that? So as I began dating again, it was like, it's hard. It's very, very hard. And like, even now, it's still very hard. And sometimes I have to catch myself and just like sit back, like, all right, first let's start here. Let's figure out what we're reacting about. And when I say this, I'm just saying this from my own experience. I don't know the first thing about anything. Like, please don't take me as like a relationship guru, because like I said before, I'm single. But I'm single because I know when to walk away from situations that are not serving me, or that I know are not for my greater good. And that's like the one thing that I think people don't keep in mind when it comes to dating, is like, okay, I have this mindset, like, we don't own people, we experience them. I try to be very clear, like, if at any point this is not what you want, or you just believe that I'm not the person for you, please be clear and tell me, because it's possible that we're not compatible. Like, that is very much so a thing. And so I need you to tell me that. Like, there's no point in stringing either of us stringing each other along. Like, there's no point in doing that. So that's like a big thing for me when it comes to dating. And also I have to speak up for myself, or I have to be in partnerships with people that are not intimidated, or they get upset when I speak up for myself, because everything does not have to be an argument. Some things are misunderstandings and miscommunications, but the only way to correct those things is to properly communicate. So one thing that I've learned over the past couple years is that I need to speak up for myself after I've fully assessed the situation and got my words together, because you know, everything doesn't always turn into an argument. And I think leaving toxic relationships where everything did turn into an argument and stuff like that, like, it was very very toxic, you know, like hostile and everything, there's that fear that anytime you bring anything up, like it's gonna be an argument. And one thing that I can say that like recently that I've experienced is that when I bring up issues or anything of that nature, like there's never an argument. And I really appreciate that. I know that that's something that I need in my relationships, is the willing to like see my point of view and to understand and not get defensive and try to argue me about everything. That's a big one for me. But yeah, so like I was saying, when it comes to dating, like I think people put so much on the outcome, and I can say this because I do it sometimes myself. We focus so much on the outcome that we don't focus on the experience. But you know, one of the things that I've learned in therapy especially is that when I have questions, I need to ask them. So if it's a situation where I feel uncertain, and rather than sit in that uncertainty and resentment, I'm going to ask the necessary questions that I need to ask. And that has really helped me, because it's got me further than I've gotten in the past by not doing it. So I'm very grateful that I got that advice to ask questions. So I'm spreading that to you guys, to ask questions. If you have a question, ask it. Don't run with scenarios in your head. Trust me, I've been that girl. You know, sometimes I still do it. I'm not perfect. I'm still working on myself. I'm still growing. But I know that is something that that a lot of people need to do more of. We need to ask questions, and we need to sit and think about the questions that we do need to ask. Because one thing, when you're dating and stuff, you don't want to be leading off of assumption like whatsoever. And for me, if and potential partners or anything like that, like I want you to ask me questions. I want you to feel comfortable enough to ask me questions. If I'm getting to know you and I'm sharing like myself with you, whether emotionally, whatever, you should be able to ask questions. Like, that's it. Yeah, I'm not really, I date, but I don't really date. I'm not really a looks person. There has to be, it's like an energy. So like, I get turned off by people very easily. So like, if you don't automatically off rip have like an energy to you that attracts me, then it's just probably not gonna get far like ever. And so like dating for me can be kind of hard, because I wouldn't say that I'm picky, but I'm picky. So like typically when I spend time with somebody, it's because like, yeah, I've done like a lot of like, I think you're worth my time. Another thing, and this goes to the ladies, guys too, don't let people sucker you with like gifts and like extravagant gifts and stuff like that, because people will pull the wool over your eyes and they'll reel you in with all that stuff. You have to know yourself and you have to be aware, because we're in an age where these girls are really like, and I'm not knocking y'all, I'm just saying be cautious, be careful, because it's very much so, you know, spend this money on me, treat, you know, all that. And that stuff is nice until you're in a situation that is very hard to get out of. Just don't put yourself in a position to where, like I said, you're getting essentially bought and not truly being valued, because anybody can spend money. But if they're not trying to cater to you emotionally, mentally, physically, and all those things, catering to you to financially is only going to get you so far, and there's not going to be much longevity of happiness in situations like that. I'm just being honest. In my opinion, dating right now for me in my mid-20s, I'm learning, and I am growing, and I'm learning more about myself and learning more about people in general. So like when it comes to dating, the main thing for me that is attractive are people that are willing to grow with you and alongside you, because if you can't even do that, that's like the bare minimum for me. If you can understand that, like, you know, I'm learning a lot right now in my life and always going forward, and as long as you're willing to like learn more about yourself and learn more about me, that's like a bare minimum for me. Like, I need my partner to grow alongside me. And of course there are times when, like, you know, growth is stagnant and everything like that, but there's the yearning to learn more and yearning to be more than what you are in the present. Anybody who's just okay with what they are, it's just kind of like, I'm just not, I don't want to settle. I never want to settle. I never want to feel like I'm settling, and I never want anybody to feel like they're settling for me. So yeah, I really have unconventional views on dating. I wanted to talk a little bit about my dating life right now. Not right now, but well, yeah, right now, and like a little bit of my unpopular opinions. Dating is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be sad and like miserable and a lot of game playing. Like, I've learned to be very upfront when it comes to dating. I'm very transparent as well, because I have nothing to hide and I don't want anybody to hide anything from me. Therefore, like I said, when it comes to like me and dating, you can ask me anything and I'm very honest. Like, I don't believe in keeping secrets or anything like that. If there's something you want to know that, you know, out of respect, you should be privy to, I have no problem sharing that stuff. But we're in an age of people that are just so completely hurt, whether from childhood or just like from previous relationships, that they would rather, it's easier to just run. And I get it, because I've been a runner, but it doesn't get you anywhere. It doesn't get you anywhere. You just end up in the same situation over and over and over again, and I'm just not trying to do that to myself. And another aspect of like coming out of toxic relationships and getting into healthy ones is that like there's always this, like, for me personally, there's always this looming fear that it's not gonna work out. And when I was in therapy, I was talking to my therapist the other day, and she was like, we were talking about my dating experiences and just me dating and everything right now, and she was like, what'd she say? I was like, I just have this fear, like, I don't know what it is. It's like, I'm just anticipating that something's gonna go wrong, like, all the time. She was like, well, what if it all works out? And I was like, hey, I never thought of that. I never considered that. What if it did work? So that's what what if it did work in my favor? First, I will say anything that happens is always working in my favor, because I've been in situations where I thought it was something that I wanted, and you know, God's rejection is the ultimate protection, baby. God's rejection is the ultimate, or rejection is God's protection. Whatever the saying is the truth. Because in situations where I thought that I really wanted it, God was saving me, baby. And I'm so grateful I can shout right now. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, you got me up out of there. Because, whoa. But now I'm in a space in my life where it's like, what if it goes bad? And then it's like, what if it goes good? So yeah, but I'm just trying not to focus on that too much. I just want to have a good time. Like, I want to enjoy myself and I want to be at peace. And the number one thing, this is my number one dating advice. And like I said, what do I know? I'm single. I've been single for a long time. Anyways, my number one dating advice is to show up as yourself always. That was like key for me. I'm just myself. So if it's a moment where I'm just super duper, like, I want to be super duper loving, then I'm gonna be super duper loving. Like, I'm not gonna minimize who I am. And if I'm too much for you, let me know and I'll go elsewhere. That's just how I view things. Like, if I'm doing too much, tell me, baby. That's gross. But if I'm ever doing too much when it comes to dating and, like, you know, being with a partner and all that, if I'm doing too much, tell me. Tell me. And I'll never tone it down because I'm being myself. So if I'm too much for you, go find less. Ladies and gentlemen, have fun in dating and stop playing games with people. Either you like them or you don't. You know if you like somebody and you know if you don't. If you don't like them, let them go. Stop thinking y'all own people and possess people. Let them go. If you don't like them, but stop ghosting people too. Just say it. What is wrong with y'all? Grow some cojones, baby. Grow some cojones and tell people you don't want to be with them. Don't string them along. Don't play in their face. Let them go and get the person you want. Let them go. Just let them go. Stop thinking you have to own people or people are possessions. People are not your possessions. The only being that owns us is God. You don't own nobody. You ain't God. Let them people go. And with that being said, I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. Oh my God, not me singing. But I love you guys, and yeah, be yourself. Always show up as yourself, and dating is supposed to be fun, especially right now. I'm young and turned, and I could be outside. I'm not an outside person, but I could be outside if I wanted to be outside. And when it's not fun and it's just making you sad all the time, either address it or just tell them you got to go. I gotta move on. I guess I gotta go. I guess it's time to go. Okay, bye guys. I love you. See you in the next video.